Hello, welcome to PyjamaRama.
Hey!
I'm stuck.
There we go.
Okay.
Yay.
Manual.
Oh my gosh. That thing.
Nice. Now that we're all sitting, this is PyjamaRama. It's the sleepover that you never got to have. My name's Frankie.
I'm Verity.
I'm Katie.
I'm Hilo.
And today we're making friendship bracelets, and we're gonna be discussing what femininity means to us and how we stay in touch with our feminine sides. Yeah. There we go. Let's get
Yay.
going.
I
So,
can't wait.
to start it off, I thought we'd talk about how we ourselves see ourselves as either women or feminine, and how we stay in touch with that. So, growing up, I was like really androgynous, and I kind of switched between being like a tomboy and then a girly girl, but I never really stayed on one.
Yeah.
So I feel like I never really got like a routine going for being a girl and doing my hair and makeup until I was about 20, and then I started to actually get in touch with it, and I like to do my hair and my nails, and that makes me feel like a girl. It's very simple stuff, but it's easy, and it's like self-care stuff. What about anyone else?
No, I'm the same. I love like pampering myself, making myself feel like the best I can. I love getting my nails done. Or like I know you're really creative with it and you do that. I'm just the French tip girly. But yeah, like hair and makeup is something that's so like personal to a person. Like you can really like explore. I remember when I was like going through school, I used to love doing like eyeshadow. I've lost my nick with it now. But I used to love doing like extravagant eyeshadow looks and do it with my friends as well. So it just gives you like time to be like creative as well, like and like make yourself feel beautiful, like doing these things. But
I mean, I grew up very girly, like very, very girly, and because I kind of knew, like, I think I kind of grew up very, like, people would be like, oh, you're as cute as a button, and I'd be like, thank you, and so I kind of just immediately, like, I was like, thank you, say no, and like, so I loved dressing up pretty and stuff like that, because not like I knew it got me attention, but I kind of knew that that's what I was supposed to do, if you know what I mean, and so it's been really interesting kind of getting older and kind of being able to play around with gender, because I'm gender fluid. And so like I don't exactly feel like a girl all the time, but it's really nice to get in touch with that like feminine side, especially when like, you know, I can play with the masculine, but you know, there's nothing wrong with being feminine as well, and I think like femininity is really kind of demonized, I think, because like, you know, I feel like people hate when you're like a girly girl and you're happy about it, like people hate that. So
See a girl in my room.
Yeah.
right. So yeah, I think that's kind of my connection with it.
I think for me, so like I grew up, pretty much all my family is girls. So it was always like, I was taught, like all my cousins are like 10 years older than me, so I was taught how to do makeup very young. So like, yeah, there was that element of like girly girl and stuff like that. But then I was also like, I was never like judged. Like in primary school I did a lot of more traditional masculine sports, like I did martial arts, I did like a lot of like football and stuff like that, and then just as I grew up I just chose more, I went more into dance and like connected more with my femininity. It's like, and now I love like when I'm like, love to pamper myself when I'm feeling down or something like that. It's just like,
I do think it's important, especially as a woman, to like pay attention to yourself, and like self-care stuff is so important for that. Some people just don't find the time to like dedicate individually just by yourself. It's so therapeutic sometimes.
I mean, like that's kind of as well, like being able to, you know, be girls with someone like kind of, and that's why we did this live stream specifically. It was basically like for the people that never got, you know, sleepovers growing up and stuff like that, because, you know, like personally speaking, I moved around a lot, so I didn't really get, you know, really close friendships with like loads of people. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun to like make bracelets.
Yeah, I never grew up with like a big group of like girl friends. I never really had like a massive group of friends at all. It was always like one or two friends at a time, but I never had like that experience of like getting excited for a sleepover and putting your pajamas on and staying up past your bedtime when you're meant to. It's that sort of like, as a kid, that's the sort of naughtiness that you get up to, and I feel like it's an important part of growing up as a woman. So if you don't get that, you have to find it later on in life, and it can be really difficult.
100%, but like needless to say, like finding it later in life doesn't mean that it doesn't do the same for you, like developmental side.
It definitely does,
And like you said, you found a new relationship with like femininity, and sorry, I was starting to speak up. Found a new relationship dependency, and like as you're older, you know yourself way more. Like
Yeah.
I think like with gender stereotypes, it's kind of pushed onto kids to like do this, do that. I mean, I had an older brother, still do. He's still kicking about. But growing up, older brother, and him and my dad would always go do like boy things, and like that was very much like his type of thing. But my mum's always been a massive tomboy. She didn't even wear a wedding dress to her wedding. She wore like a pantsuit. I was like, Baddie.
That's iconic.
So she always says to me like, I don't know where you got your girliness from, but that's what I mean. It just kicks for some people, and like you said, I'm very lucky that I have a friendship group that I kind of found later on in life. But like it does, like girl friendships are the most important, like female bonds are just so important.
Yeah, and
And
it's really healing a lot of the time.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So it's like good to keep the girlies close. Because they just get it. They just get
Yeah.
it. And yeah. That's why we're making friendship bracelets.
Yeah.
And that's like leading on to the next thing I was going to ask about, like, what do you miss most about being a kid? Because one of the things that I miss is being able to do things like this with no restrictions and no like sort of worry, because doing it now, obviously we're doing it for our project, we're doing it for a reason, but when you're a kid you kind of just do stuff for the fun of it. And I think it's important, like as a growing woman, as a growing adult, we need to find that sort of stuff that brings us back to our like healing our children. I think it's really important. But like, what do you guys do to like stay in touch with that kid inside you, sort of thing?
I mean, sorry to jump in. I'm always been like quite a mischievous person. I kind of love a bit of mischief. Like the other day we were prank calls. Never will grow out of that. They're always funny. But yeah, like just doing things that like you said, feel good and like remind you of childhood. Like things like this, like you said, just taking some time to do things that we wouldn't normally do if we didn't have to. So sorry, I feel like keep going.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, I definitely like agree. Like doing things kind of that are a bit more simple, and like especially now that we're kind of in this whole like technological revolution.
Yeah.
Like I know we all grew up kind of when, you know, I would say I was an OG iPad kid, so I kind of like got the experience of like Angry Birds, but also like I knew what it was like to you
Flappy
know.
Bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think what I've been doing kind of to get in touch with kind of like my inner child recently is just getting more in touch with my feminine side, because I think like, you know, doing things that are cutesy and stuff like that, it just helps. It just makes you feel nice. Sometimes. Like I got a new Switch case and it has like strawberries on it, and I've had my Switch for maybe like 7 years and I never got a new case for it, and it's so cute. So every time I play my Switch, I'm like, it's adorable.
Yeah, it's like simple pleasures.
Yeah.
Like watch like Sims is a good one. No, another thing, like watching like childhood films. So like I mean last night I watched the Horror Henry movie because I was like, you know what has to be done.
Gonna be a big star.
Yeah, I mean, I love that as well. I think like sitting and watching films and doing things like this, you have to find time for it now. And I think that's the point of this live stream, is so that we can just bring it back a little bit, bring back the thing of like girlies getting together, girlies having fun. And for our next episode, would you like to?
So next episode we're doing it 2:30 today. Double episode extravaganza.
Yes.
We will be doing red flags and icks. So we will have an ick list, and we'll be red flagging or green flagging. So join us for that.
And thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.